January 8th. After Sarah's death, Abraham remarries and has more children, while Isaac and Rebekah's pregnancy is, like his father Abraham's, a direct answer to prayer. The prophecy to Rebekah about her two boys is quite specific and no doubt sets her expectations for Jacob. Rebekah's favoring Jacob over Esau is not surprising, as this prophecy indicates that the traditional cultural practice to the elder son inheriting the disproportionate share of the family estate would, in this instance, be turned upside down. It's interesting that God would reveal this to Rebekah. In doing so, God continues his practice of speaking directly to those he has called about very specific details in their lives. We aren't told whether Rebekah heard an audible voice or whether the message was sent through a prophet. But by speaking to her, God confirms to Rebekah and Isaac that they are central to his plans. Of Abraham's many children, by both his wives and his concubines, God's promises will flow through Isaac. And of Isaac's children, it will be Jacob, not Esau, who will be the recipient of God's promise to bless the world. God would later reveal himself to others as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God speaks to his people. He speaks through nature. He speaks through his revealed word, the Bible. But he also speaks to people individually through prophetic words, dreams, and visions, and through private leading in prayer and through circumstances. This is referred to as special revelation. Some dismiss the concept of God speaking to people in modern times, as if this were an antiquated practice not applicable anymore. But this idea is just wrong-headed. Never in Scripture are people discouraged from attempting to communicate with God. Likewise, never in Scripture are people given the idea that those who sincerely and earnestly seek to hear God's voice won't achieve their goal. In fact, the opposite is true. Jesus said plainly in John chapter 10, verse 27, "My sheep hear my voice." In Matthew 7, Jesus told his followers, "Seek and you will find, knock and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives." Indeed, Jesus, in the parable of the sheep and the goats, said the criteria for entrance into his eternal kingdom is whether we know him relationally. As we've seen in today's reading, God's plans are specific, and he will communicate to those who seek him. Those who wish to follow him can and should expect his deeply personal interaction in their lives. Here's today's application. Would you describe your experience or interaction with God as a relationship? From what you have read or learned about the God of the Bible, do you just know about him, or do you actually know him? Are you familiar with the ways in which he interacts with you? Do you ask him questions? If so, do you expect answers? Try something. Begin to ask open-ended questions of God and expect answers, and journal. Start a prayer journal. It will help you chart the answers that God reveals to you over time. You can use the My Journey feature on this accompanying website to keep your log. You will find over time that some of these questions will indeed be answered. Some of your questions will be answered in ways that you will not see coming, and many of the answers will surprise you. Now here's today's prayer.